Hey everyone, Radhe Radhe. My name is Massiah, and today we'll be learning about a really interesting topic, that is DeepSeek. A huge buzz has been created across the world. Markets have been falling apart with its effect. So we'll try to understand how does this particular tool, this particular LLM, is going to act as a catalyst in the whole AI revolution. Why are so many investors have been getting so much interested in this particular tool, and what are the particular benefits that has been provided by this that could be expected with this tool, this LLM. So yeah, let's get started. So in this section, we'll try to understand how DeepSeek is different from other LLMs, large language models. So the first point is DeepSeek isn't relying on the supervised fine tuning. Instead of that, it is solely dependent upon the reinforcement learning, the pure reinforcement learning. Pure reinforcement learning is like a reinforcement learning in which a model is solely dependent upon the learning curve, the whole learning curve of the model, dependent upon the inputs and outputs of the request or the prompts that has been given by the user, and then emerging its logic as well as the reasoning behavior of the model based on the whole outputs or the request that has been put by the user. And it actually helps in decreasing the chance of bloodbath or the cost, capital, time, as well as the efforts of the developers, investors, and the users, which was the case of chatgpt. So it saves up a lot of money. It is actually being said that the DeepSeek will help in reducing the cost by 95 to 97% of the user or the training process or the whole model. That's a huge change if you ask from me. So it's explicitly saves a lot of money as well as also but the time of learning process. The learning curve is actually being included in this particular model, but various different tasks and the algorithms has been really important in this particular thing, in this particular model of DeepSeek. So DeepSeek usually have different models. You might have heard DeepSeek R1, DeepSeek V1, DeepSeek R1 Zero, and various other models as well. Those and DeepSeek R1 has particularly been a real buzz in the whole IT industry at the moment. So all of these particular models of DeepSeek are solely dependent upon three major principles. There are various other principles as well, but the DeepSeek R1 Zero was launched earlier, but it had various difficulties and the problems as well, of language mixing or the readability problems as well. So the main three principles that are being used by all these models are the chain of thoughts. Chain of thoughts is kind of a prompt that has been given to the model to think out loud. It helps in in overseeing all the particular steps of the whole learning process, and then changing them all to increase the efficiency of any particular model. And then the pure reinforcement learning that I just now explained. Pure reinforcement learning is solely dependent upon the reinforcement learning, which helps in building up the logic of any particular model and changing or emerging the behavior of the particular model. And then the third one is distillation. Distillation helps in bringing up or breaking up of the large language model in the form of the small language models, which are explicitly more powerful, and those outperforms a lot of large language models as well, like ChatGPT O1 and the DeepSeek R1 as well. Particularly, this is useful for the small text or the small, for the individual developers like me, or the researchers who want to proceed in the line of research with the help of the machine learning or these large language models. So why DeepSeek actually came into the existence? So the first point is the curation and the collection of huge data for any large language model is really tedious and requires a lot of effort that has to be put by the researchers as well as by the developers. The second one was fine tuning such large language models usually requires a lot of the computational power as well, and various other resources as well, which actually limits the power of the researchers, the accessibility for the researchers, and thus it was really important for the process and the principles like the distillation that was actually being introduced by the DeepSeek's model. And then third one was models usually models often struggles to generate the reasoning capabilities of their model, of their LLM model. So that's why it was really important to bring certain, the pure reinforcement learning and various other algorithms as well in the whole space of LLMs. So, and that's why DeepSeek came into the existence and had some visions, amongst which first one was the continuous or the autonomous learning of any particular model, because a lot of efforts has to be put by the researchers and the developers, which requires a lot of time and efforts. That's why this process has to be automated, which could bring up the efficiency bar a lot more, a lot above the normal or the average behavior. And then the second one was the smaller language models was also needed for the research purposes, because the accessibility has to be increased. The model, the particular thing that has to be made popular amongst the whole population, there has to be access, that has to be made accessible for most of the people first of all, so that people could get to know about it, use it at first, and then get to optimize it in their workload or in their general day-to-day tasks. And then the third one was the open source engagement as well. Whether it is OpenAI's ChatGPT or various other LLMs as well, those were not fully like the open source, and that's why it brought a lot of the cost limitations as well for the researchers and the developers and those people who doesn't have those many the resources available with them to start any particular project. And that's why this particular uh, the initiative was actually being put by the DeepSeek to make it open source and include various other points as well to their whole vision. So in the next video, I'll try to explain various different measures, algorithms, and various different approaches that were actually being adopted by DeepSeek, whether it is multi-stage training, cold start data, or the GRPO, retrieval augmented generation as well, and reinforcement learning, chain of thoughts, various other uh, the approaches that were actually being adopted by the DeepSeek model. How is it getting so much fame and becoming such a buzz in the whole IT industry at the moment? So I'll try to explain each and every particular topic. Uh, and then if you does have any problem, have any uh, you know doubt in your mind, then you can just ping me in the comments, or you want any other topic to get researched about, then you can ask me in the community or either in the comments as well. So yeah, until then, yeah, just hold on to your seats and see you soon. Radhe Radhe.